no. The man who only wants his sins forgiven is trifling with Christianity.
This is not the time to play games. This is an extremely dangerous time to play games with God.
God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing. And so I'm going right back to the foundation. Will you remind people of the goodness and the severity of God? The most precious thing we ever handle is the human soul. The Pieta one day will go up in dust. The cistern chapel will be blown to smithereens. But the soul of a man will live forever and ever and ever and ever. Either in eternal darkness or eternal bliss. Heaven is impeccable joy. There'll be no sorrow. Hell is eternal misery. There's no joy. There is only one way to heaven. There are a million ways to hell.
In this world, we know for theists, there's been this age-old problem of understanding, reconciling good and evil. Why do bad things happen to what appear to be good people? So the main explanation we give from the Vedic perspective and the Vaishnava perspective is of karma, that you sow what you reap. You reap what you sow. As you sow, so shall you reap. And so the idea is that when you commit harmful activities towards others, you will be bound to accept a reaction. And then when you understand karma in relation with reincarnation, then it makes sense of why bad things happen apparently to good people, because in their past lives they had committed some kind of harmful activity to another, and then therefore in the present life they are reaping the result of that. That's one explanation. Now, sometimes people say that still we see sometimes in the Vedic teachings that there are punishments given for seemingly infractions that aren't as great as the punishment. It's like the punishment is worse than the crime. Now, these things are obviously debatable. We know sometimes in the scriptures, or even we see like parents, they will warn their children not to do something and threaten them with a punishment that may seem greater than the infraction. And sometimes that's just to encourage them not to do that activity. But our gurus state that actually there is the hellish region, and it's there for those who have gone against the proper moral codes and rules and regulations of the Vedic scriptures. But still, then you can ask, why does evil itself exist? One answer to that is free will. If there was no free will, then you could say, okay, if there was no evil, then that would mean there'd be no free will. If there's true free will, it means God allows people to do evil. But then you can say that that accounts for violence committed from one to another. But what about evil, the so-called acts of God, where people are dying in volcanoes and hurricanes? And so actually there's three kinds of miseries: adhyatmic, adhibautic, adhidevic. Adhidevic suffering means that caused by natural forces or the devas. Adhibautic is suffering caused by other living entities. And then there's adhyatmic, suffering caused by one's own mind or from one's own self. So the idea is that in samsara, material existence, is a place where suffering is inevitable. It's part of the fabric of life: happiness and distress, sukh and dukh, day and night, light and dark. These dualities are part of material nature. And as long as we have attachment to this body and mind and senses and ego, then we're going to experience rag and dvesh, attachment and aversion. And that's the original duality that's going to lead to all these other dualities that are bound to the false ego. When we become detached and transcend this mortal, mundane false ego, then we're not going to experience these same things. At that time we become atmaram, aptakam, self-satisfied, always blissful within the self. Now, so there's two theories we talked about. Okay, there's the idea of karma, that you reap what you sow, and the other idea that evil exists because the potential of evil must exist in order for there to be free will, and since God gives his creation free will, then some of them will be bound to create evil or perform evil. But at the same time, and then the karma, why bad things happen to good people, as we heard, sometimes there may be you see like a child gets killed in a horrible accident. What bad did that boy or girl do. They were so young and innocent, so the idea is that in a past life there was some kind of karma that they did that led to that reaction in this life.